Y'all, DJ Daryl here for another episode of Fatherhood Fraternity podcast.
Yo,
we are where we usually are in the barbershop, the cornerstone of the community, and I'm gonna let Jay tell y'all where we specifically are.
We are specifically at 417 Agler Road, Gahanna, Ohio 43230.
You forgot?
We in the G, yo.
Google it.
Google it, right.
But yeah, we here. I'm Jeremiah Williams. That's Norm Strick over there. What's going on, man?
You introducing people today, man. He rolling. Yeah. Norm Strick, basic guy over here.
DJ Daryl, aka your favorite. And like we say, this is a podcast for fathers, by fathers. I mean, we open to everybody, but we got to make sure that we at least sit down, have our conversations, and then y'all can hear it. Y'all can grow from it, learn from it, or whatever. I mean, we going to at least grow. Even if it's nobody else, we going to grow from this community that we are building. So I appreciate y'all tagging along and seeing where this ride will take us. Today's show is going to be a good one. We're talking about having mommy and daddy time, or even just adult time, period. For people who don't have a wife or a spouse or whatever, just having adult time with your adult people can still apply to this, because if you're around your kid all the time, you will begin to not even remember what adult life is like. Right. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But make sure you're following us on social media. That is on IG, Fatherhood Fraternity, one word, spelled correctly. I have a YouTube channel where you can watch my fatherhood experience each week on YouTube, and of course this podcast. You can listen to us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, all those ways. But today, as we always do, we're going to have the question of the day. My man Jay is going to kick it off. You got the question, or you want us to just all say it?
I got the question, but
What up?
Robert, brother, you asked the question today, Daryl.
Oh,
Daryl's question of the
so
day.
it's not Daryl's question of the day. We all received the question while we're in this in the barbershop. So
Shout out to O'Sharp.
O'Sharp
Oskino.
gave us the suggestion of having the conversation or the question of, what would you be doing if you weren't doing the job that you're in now? And even to elaborate on that, like, what did you want to be when you grew up? Like, what was your thoughts? Like, what would your elementary self be saying? Like, bro, this you?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what did you want to be? Jay, starting off with you. What did you want to be, or what would you be if you weren't a barber?
It's crazy because when you say elementary stuff, that made me think. Like, I used to want to be an astronaut, like a spaceman in particular.
We all did.
A spaceman, right? I want to fly around the planets, talk to the aliens, get a laser gun, stuff like that.
Sounds cool.
That sounds great. But as I became more of an adult, I wanted to be an actor. Maybe not more of an adult. Maybe as a young, like a teenager, I always wanted to act. I saw movies, and I would see how certain characters would be in different movies doing different roles. So I'm like, man, you could be a king in this movie, you can be a spy in that movie, and then you could be a superhero in that movie. That's the coolest job ever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And then once I became older, like into my teenage years, I assumed the role of MC. I wanted to be a rapper. I felt like I had a message to give to the people, and I wanted to do that. And then I just became a barber and started cutting hair, doing fresh fades.
Reality hit.
Yeah, reality smacked me in the face.
Your dreams start coming to life.
Can I tell the story of how I became a barber? So real quick. So I was working at McGraw-Hill, and I got fired.
That's a paper company? What is that?
It's a book
I know it has something to do with
company,
papers.
and we was just boxing up books, basically sending them off on Amazon, boxing up
You
books
was working at Dunder Mifflin?
all day. No, I was down there on
Just mess with you.
yeah, somewhere over there in Reynoldsburg, Taylor Station. But I got fired because I failed my drug test, right? And they didn't tell me until I was working there for like a month and a half. So I get fired, and in the same week, all these things happen in the same week. I lose my job, my car gets impounded, and I get home and my wife tells me she's pregnant. All in the same week. It was like the worst week of my life, right? Lost my job, lost my car, and my girl's expecting. So we lived in Hamilton Arms, which is right down the street from the barber school. I got a pair of clippers. I have a pair of Andy's Masters and a pair of Great Boy Edgers. And I was cutting my hair And then it all just hit me like a light bulb. Like, I got these clippers, barber school right there. I need a job. Boom. I went to barber school and started the next week.
Word of the day.
Hey,
Yo.
J-O-B.
Word. Hey, I never look back. The fastest you can get in and out of barber school was 9 months. I got in and out of barber school in 9 months. I worked the job. By the time my son was 3 months old, I was graduating. I came in here. He was 4 months old, and I have not looked back since. I've been at the job every day. I've been in the same barbershop for like 12 years. My son will be 12 in April.
That's crazy.
That's dope.
That's a pretty
Whoa.
dope
I
story,
mean,
yeah.
of course, in being in this situation, I'm sure it wasn't dope.
No.
But being able to see where you are today and seeing the lives that you have affected way more than you would at Tim McGraw's, wherever the hell you say you was
McGraw
working.
Hill. And you know what? It gave me that whole...
Draws.
It's a trip. Once I think about it in hindsight, it's a trip. Like, I got stripped all the way down to nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what gave me the motivation to A, get through school, and B, persevere and stay on the job.
Right.
Because there's brothers that was in barber school that was probably still there now. You know what I mean? They would be in one day, out the next day, take a week off, take a month off, a year off, never become barbers. It's dudes that graduated that never finished cutting hair. They just never went to a barbershop. So for me, it was like I had motivation. I was working a night job. I was at Best Buy, loading and unloading trucks at night, and then I was at barber school all day, hustling. So we got it going, and here I am 12 years later. You know what I mean?
12 years a slave. Yeah.
So if you wasn't doing this, what would you be doing?
I feel like if I wasn't doing this, I'd be an MC. I really believe that. Because even still, like, I write rhymes, and I would have only perfected my craft that much more. You know?
Do you still have, like, do you write your rhymes and memorize them, or you just write them and then
Both. If it's really good, I'll memorize it. If not, it just goes into my journey.
spit? Pause. Say something for the people who ain't never heard you before.
This is what's on my heart. This is a poem.
And then we'll go to...
It's short
Man, I
and
gotta
sweet.
follow up after this guy.
Yes.
I know.
Damn. This
But
dude
this is-
always setting the bar.
This is the poem that I have, and this is what I like to share when I go out. Because as I get older, I prefer the poetry sets over the rap sets. I'm sure you know why.
Yes.
So I would say, where will you be when the lights go out? Will you be plugged in when the lights go out? How will you survive without high-speed wireless internet access? Lost without GPS and MapQuest. Your house will be no home if there was no gas and electric. Ask yourself, where would you be without extra batteries for every category of emergency? Certainly, we wouldn't just sit in the dark. It would be hard to see the truth, but who would you trust if the lights went out? You wouldn't see much meaning for an online bank account with such and such dollar amounts. Candlelit dinners under the moonlight. You would thank God for sunrise. Turn on your high beam LEDs and see if you can see in my direction. If the lights went out this very second, who would you text message? Who would you email each and every detail? Brothers and sisters, we might as well be prepared for when the lights go out.
Hey,
I get snaps.
hey. Oh, for
I
sure.
said that one time at a rap set, and that's words came up. And he was like, bro, I need that on my album.
That's the
bro.
big homie.
Yeah.
He came to me like that. And that's my man, 50 grand.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I kick that, and I try to write things that hold some kind of weight. I try not to just do a bunch of rapping and tapping. I try to make something with substance. And that's what I come up with.
That's dope.
That's dope.
You're starting to show off right,
Hey,
didn't you? What?
Hey, that's how you do it right there. Switch it up.
So, Norm, 2 questions for the question of the day. What did you want to be when you were growing up, like in elementary school? And then what would you be if you wasn't where you are now?
So growing up, man, one of my first loves was basketball. Like, I fell in love with that sport at an early age. And I remember being trash when I first started, like trash.
Weren't we all?
Yeah, dog. But I had cousins that was like hooping at like 8, 9, yeah, around that time. And I remember running around, grabbing the ball when I got my first hoop, running around like it was football. And I just remember working every day after I got my first hoop. My dad and my grandmother got it for me. And I remember waking up in the summertime. Before my dad went to work, I was outside dribbling, shooting. When he came back home, I was outside dribbling, shooting. So I kind of molded myself into like somewhat of an athlete. I wasn't naturally gifted, but man, hoop was my first love, man, and I fell in love with it. And I remember the first time I got my heart broken from hoops. And my senior year in high school, man, I came back from 5-star camp, dark. Hey, you know what I mean? We outside all day in Pennsylvania hooping. And I remember coming back, man, and I barely saw the court my senior year, man. And that literally broke my heart.
That
literally
hurts.
broke my heart. I remember getting into the Shaker game. Shaker is our big rival. And I remember getting to the game and scoring 4 points in like 30 seconds. And I'm like, oh, it's on. It's on. Come halftime, go back on the bench, man. And lost the love for basketball. But I don't know. When I was a kid, I didn't really want to do something specific. I used to love to draw. Like I said, basketball is probably my go-to. But now I would love to be a coach, honestly. I was talking to my therapist about it, and he was asking me, like, you know, what would you want to do, or what is your passion? I talked to him today about it, actually. And I told him, man, I love basketball so much, I would love to give back in a way that I can teach, but also help young men that may not have, not a father figure, but just a black man in their life to show them certain things. So me giving back would be coaching, teaching, you know, showing them how to be professional or how to represent yourself in the right way, how to represent your family.
Right.
So that's kind of something I would love to do, not just being a basketball coach, but just being like a mentor and coach and teacher or whatever the case may be. So I see myself doing that. I see a passion in that. I love basketball still. I make my own plays sometimes that nobody knows about, but I'm going to try them out once Braxton start hooping. We run a motion one. Yeah. I got motion 1 high, 4 low, I mean, whatever it is. So, but, yeah, man, I would love to coach, and not just basketball, but just like a life coach for young black men. So,
Word.
Dope. For
What
me,
about you, DJ Durrell? What would you do, man?
when I was in elementary school, I wanted to be an archaeologist. I wanted to find dinosaur bones all over the world. Like, that was the thing that I thought was going to be me. Like, nothing else was going to matter because I wanted to be finding all these dinosaurs. I wanted to dust.
Yeah.
I'll be looking in the yard, like, making holes. Like, got to be some dinosaurs
right
over here. You know what I'm saying? That's where I used to really want to be. I don't know what happened to that, but I didn't. I stopped that after a while. And then what I would be if I wasn't here today, low key, my last summer was going to be the summer that Ava was born. I was really just going to sell everything I had and move to New York and try to be a DJ and a photographer and just eat off nothing but my art and just try it for a year and then come back home if I had to. But Ava came in June, you know what I'm saying? And right when I was
all that down.
Right the way it happened?
Yeah,
Right.
it's like God had another plan, but like I really wanted to just try to live off being a DJ, live off photography, and if it wasn't something that had to do with the arts, I would want to like own a business. I would try to find a way to get a nice loan and own a business, something like that. That's something I knew I would probably want to do if I wasn't working in the banking industry.
Right, same here.
So if you are listening, we don't just ask ourselves these questions. We want to know your answers too. So hit us with some feedback. Let us know what you would be doing if you weren't where you are, because you know, at least in our city, we don't always do what we want to do. We're not doing what we love to do. This ain't one of them cities where you just can get it.
Right. Go after it.
Unless
Do what you want.
Unless you really got the money before you start.
Right.
It's kind of hard to get it in this city of Columbus. But if you're listening somewhere else, let us know so we can make sure we shout you out, shout your city out, and all that good stuff. But we can get right into the show. We don't have nothing else. Let me, not off the record, but before you get to the topic, what y'all been listening to lately? I asked y'all this in a couple weeks.
Oh, man, it's been a while.
What y'all been listening to?
Man, I'm going crazy on Tidal Music. Man,
Word?
Tidal Music, I can just explore and explore.
Did you just get it, or have you already
I had it for a year.
Okay.
So
They playlist they got on there is crazy.
Golly.
How they
So-
link everything together.
it's a group from the 70s called New Birth, the New Birth.
Wildflower?
And they sing Wildflower and all of that. So I'm listening to their catalog, and their catalog is just amazing. That's just where I'm at. New Birth. If y'all ain't heard, get hip.
That's the beauty of these streaming services is that I would never have the time to listen to a lot of this music that comes out,
Right.
or the old music that's been out.
I
Like,
don't listen to nothing new. Everything I
have-
listen to is
you don't even have to. You don't even have to do that.
Yeah,
That's why I love it.
A lot of the new music, man, I don't relate to anymore. Like I never thought I'd be in that position where I'm like, y'all know nothing. This is good music.
I can't dance good enough.
I can't dance to this music. Number one. Number two, I don't really understand a lot of it. Like it's the same repetitive things.
Whipping a brick.
Right. I mean, it's a lot of artists that I will listen to. I'll still listen to J. Cole and Kendrick, and I actually been listening to 2 Chainz a lot lately.
I was
too.
about to say, I
But
was
it's a trip.
waiting for you to front on 2
It's a
Chainz.
trip.
No,
These-
not at all.
The people that you naming is like your age and older though.
Yeah.
So
2 Chainz
it's
older than
difficult.
us.
to
Yeah,
call
2
them
Chainz
good.
older, but he actually, he's
J. Cole
he's
and Kendrick is in their 30s.
right. But their craft though is different. You know what I mean? Like 2 Chainz may be a trap rapper, but dude is a artist. Like he's just not a trap rapper to me. He's an actual artist.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. I haven't really been listening to a lot lately. I listen to what my wife listens to. She listens to a lot of R&B. So Summer Walker, EP Nice. Still listen to her.
You heard
EP.
that Solange?
Yeah, I've been trying to listen to that Solange, man.
Ain't been able to make it through.
It's been a little struggle.
I ain't heard it yet, but I like the first one though. The first one was real.
It ain't that.
No, it ain't
It's
that.
not?
If you go into it listening,
Yeah,
for
that's
the
what I
first
thought.
one, I was.
Well,
I think we all did.
It's like her second or third one, actually.
Yeah.
The last one that
The
came
last
out.
one was-
See that at
Seat
the
at the
table.
Table.
That was cool.
That's
I would
the
go
one I
back and
like.
listen to that right now.
Erase that from your
Erase
mind
that whole thought
before you
process.
go
Is
into
it,
this.
is it a different sound?
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
different. It's eclectic.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, it's-
Eclectic
Yeah.
and vibe.
You gonna listen to the first
So you-
4 songs and didn't know that it ain't the first song.
right. You think it's yeah.
It's just gonna go like this is just gonna flow through. Like damn,
We on damn number
we on
4.
number 4.
Okay.
It's only been like 5 minutes.
I'm gonna have to check that out tonight. I feel
Yeah,
like listening.
but listen
some
to it
music.
if you smoke. Listen to it if you smoke, and then if you don't smoke, it ain't the same. It ain't the same. So listen to it with sober ears is
Yeah, I still haven't even been able to listen to it all the way through.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
I was like, maybe when I get to Houston, I'm gonna feel it a little different.
Nah.
Man, I'm
When you
like,
got to
turn
Houston,
that-
you wanna
like,
hear
I'm like,
Mike
turn that
Jones,
2 Chainz
like,
back on. Like,
Yeah.
I just need something a little bit more hyper. But I have been listening to 2 Chainz. That I didn't like it on the first listen, and I think I was expecting something different.
Right.
But then I listened to his interviews, and that's why I like listening to interviews. Now are almost like how we used to have the booklets. Like you get a little bit more into what the project's about
Right.
when you listen to the interview. So once I listen to the interview, I'm like, okay, let me listen to it again.
Yep.
Then it was like, okay, yeah,
Well, also the beat selection he chose. A lot of production is old school songs.
that's a song with Knife Wonder,
Oh
Threat
my
to Society.
God.
Like,
Crazy.
And then he tried to have Jay-Z on that song. I'm like, Jay,
He
why-
shoulda had
like,
Jay
why
on there.
didn't you? Jay said it wasn't good timing. So I'm like, bruh, can we get him on a remix?
Knife Wonder did that beat, but then Diddy said it too. He was like, "Yo, Chainz, we gonna make this happen.
Yeah,
Like Jay
yeah.
needs to be on this beat."
So it's been a slow year for new music. So other than that, I've been listening to 90s music. Like me trying to throw this 90s 2000 R&B event. Like I'm digging deep. Like I know all the songs. 4 hours isn't enough time for me to really play 90s 2000 music.
Nah.
I have a lot of music to play, but I want to be able to throw in some gems with
Yeah.
some of the stuff that y'all gonna sing
I can't
along
wait for
with.
that, man. I
Like,
can't
it's
wait for that
I'm
part.
trying to make this a monthly thing because there's an R&B event in the city, but it's not us. So we deserve to have our own R&B monthly so that we can bring our wives out or
Right.
have a kick it because this is
Yes.
from 8 to 12 and it's something that you don't have to be out all late just to
Right.
hear the music. Like you can be in and out, you know what I'm saying?
And still enjoy the night. Like I hate getting home now at 2 a.m. Like wait,
Bruh,
It's too late to me, man.
if I'm not out the house by 8, I'm usually not going to be out the house unless I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
So with this event trying to be from 8 to midnight, I call
That's
it the
perfect.
interlude because of like you got R&B music. Interludes are big in R&B music, but if you want to kick it, you can go out afterwards. Or if you want to go home, this can be the interlude to going home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
there's
I
food,
like that.
there's drinks, but good music, and we need to have more of that.
Promote that.
That's-
Y'all listen up for that for sure.
That's the main thing. It's like, man, I want to play more music. I want to listen to more music. So that's where I'm in. I'm in my 90s, 2000 R&B, mostly 90s. But
yeah.
if y'all listen to something, let us know. If y'all got something I think that we should listen to, holla at us. But
If
New
you
Birth,
if you can explain that Solange album, call in. Call in, break it down.
I have to listen to the end of it. Like I just haven't even
Yeah,
taken.
it's kind of it's
I
a
just
little crazy.
it was the weekend. It just wasn't one of those. It's not a weekend like It wasn't like it came out on a Friday. I didn't want to hear that on Friday.
It's a road trip album that
It's a Monday Tuesday album for me. Like a little bit earlier in the week.
yeah,
we
road
just trying
trip
to
might
get
put you to sleep. Never mind. Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. It's definitely different.
I'm not gonna say it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it wasn't what I expected. So.
The way y'all talking about it, I don't want to hear it now. I
you
just
gotta
listen
hear
and
it,
sit
but
at the table.
Sorry, Solange, if you happen to
Sorry.
get a hold of this, we
Somebody
sorry.
say anything bad about it. We didn't really mean it. We didn't mean
But speaking about road trips and everything, that's going to go into what we're going to talk about today. Is mommy, daddy time, adult time, being able to find time with your significant other or your friends, just so you can not be living the kid life and living an adult life, because you get swarmed by YouTube videos that your kids are watching, the songs that they know, their homework, their sports, like whatever age they are in, you can get swarmed into their life.
Baby Shark.
Yes, of course. And we just need some time. And I'll even start it off by saying my family just had our road trip, our yearly trip to Houston, and my wife's mom lives in Houston, so we have to make sure that we let her spend her time with our daughter and get some free time. And when I tell you, out those 7 days, we really had Ava only 2 of those days. Like, it was a Thursday and a Saturday we had her.
That's great, man. Y'all had a vacation for y'all.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Because we had a live-in babysitter who knows how to take care of a baby that we ain't got to worry about.
Man.
All we did was we woke up and got out the house by 12 every day. So we, had breakfast with her and fixed her hair, and then go on to your
Go ahead to GG.
Go on to GG.
We'll see y'all later.
We out of here. And that's exactly what we did. It's just one of those things where we need that time. We don't get to date. We don't get to kick it. We don't get to dress nice. We don't get to explore. The way that we started dating was exploring Columbus. So that's part of our DNA. Our relationship DNA is exploring, having new experiences that we only share. And when do you get to do that with your daughter if we like to drink sometimes, or if we want to go to an adult bar and hear some rap and trap music or something like that? Like,
Some fun.
you can't do that with baby Ava. You feel me? Nothing against her, because we love the time we do have, but there has to be a time where I get to kick with my guys and I get to kick with my gal.
You have to have that time. It's important.
It's important.
Very important to a marriage.
Just to feel like a man. Like, just to,
To dine your woman, just make her feel good too.
right. I work for this money. Why can't I do what I want with it sometime?
Right.
And I don't feel the least bit bad that I only saw my daughter for a couple of days during that week. It's not like I don't care about her. I don't love her. She
Don't
needs
feel
her time
bad
with her
at all.
GG.
Mhm.
I needed my time with my wife,
Yep.
and we explored the city.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's something that sometimes we can seem to overlook it because the hustle and bustle of work, and I gotta make this money, I gotta get these bills.
Right. And go ahead, Jay.
That was one of the best times that I had. I ain't gonna say the best times, but the last real good time I had with my wife, it was her birthday, and she wanted to go
Cincinnati?
to Cincinnati for her birthday. I asked her what she wanted. She said, I want to go to Cincinnati, kick it, and then I want to go to Papa Do's in the morning for brunch.
There you go.
I got family in Cincinnati. I'm like, bet. So I called my family. Then I got family in Annapolis. So my Naptown family drove to Cincinnati, and then some of my partners from the barbershop, we all posseed up, drove to Cincinnati.
Oh yeah.
We all got hotel rooms. We booked restaurant reservations. And my cousin laid out the red carpet and got us in all kind of different clubs. And we basically just club hop. We went to 3 different places in Cincinnati.
Ain't that
You
fun?
need, man. Fun.
It's just
We
fun.
got to the hotel, got dressed, met them at the restaurant, and then we just went from club to club to club. Came home like
Kicked it.
5 in to the hotel, and woke up, went to Papa Do's, and then jumped on the road. Came home and got the kids.
A nice quick
And just
love.
that trip, the part that I remember the most was the ride down there, because the ride down there was the turn up. We getting ready to kick it, you know what I mean? Wife take her little nap so she don't be falling asleep.
Right.
And we had a blast.
Yeah, you need that. You need
We
that
had
too.
a blast, man. It was really like an intimate trip.
Like, that's dope. And you can't do the fun that you want to do when
You sure
Ruby
can't.
and Ben.
Ain't nothing worse than sharing a hotel room with your kids, boy.
Dog, the double. I mean, boy, you over there trying to touch on something. Oh, you know the kids wake up. Hey,
Ain't nothing
mommy, daddy.
With cartoons on the TV.
Right, dog.
Man, ain't nothing worse.
We had to deal with that last weekend. Like, damn, boy, go to sleep. You up here watching cartoons till 2 in the
Bubble
morning.
guppies going off. But the word that I want to use, the key word is intimacy. That's
Yes.
the main thing.
Yeah.
And DJ Durrell, you touched on it before we started the show. But the book, The 5 Love Languages, that's really my love language is quality time.
Mine too.
Just from the way that I was raised and the things that I had and didn't have, quality time means the most to me. When I was a kid, me and my friends used to lay on the ground and stare at the clouds and see what clouds look like. And I always remember them moments. Those was like the best times for me. Riding bikes and all of that, that's cool. But really just sitting down, being still, and using my imagination at the same time as, my friends, that's what was the best for me, was those quality moments. Maybe if we got to walk to the pool or something, that long walk to the pool, that's the best.
And then when you think about what your love language is, when you don't get that quality time from people, or the time that you get with them isn't quality, or you're expecting quality time from other people and they don't give it back, you get agitated, you get frustrated.
That's my issue.
Whether it's your spouse or your family or any of that stuff, you want that quality time so that you can build that relationship, you can have that intimacy, and that's where a lot of things could stem from. And you got to know that, and they got to know that. You got to be vocal with it yourself, and even with your children. I mean, you get your quality time with your children, but you got to know their love language. You got to know your wife's love language, and you got to figure out how to do it.
Right.
That quality time is serious to me.
Very
so I feel
serious.
you.
That's my wife's one of her love languages is quality time and acts of kindness. So for me, I mean, coming back to when we moved back to Ohio, man, we struggle with babysitters, man. My sister is here, but she always working a couple jobs. My brother-in-law is here, but we never had anybody to just take Braxton to at any given moment. So my mother-in-law is 2 hours away in Ironton, Ohio, which is South Ohio.
Yep.
We got to meet her
Never heard of that
halfway.
city.
Hey, right, y'all
Never
know what
heard
that
of
is.
that.
It's close to Portsmouth.
That sounds like meth land.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's for sure
That's
meth land.
what it sounds
It's for
like.
sure meth land. Ironton, they getting busy out there. Yeah.
Yeah, he like, for sure. Shout out to all my meth heads.
Hey, I just saw a couple stonies walking the streets
Tony's.
looking crazy.
Zombies.
Yeah, zombies for real now. But yeah, man, it's hard, man, when you don't have the babysitter because you run into moments of work, home,
Routine.
and
Rhetoric.
you get burnt out
Quick.
very fast. And then
Everybody gets annoying.
right. And then you start getting on each other's nerves. And then
Time ain't no longer quality.
that's not quality time. That's when you want to get away from that person, when you want to be spending more time with them.
It's another show.
That's a whole nother show. But yeah, so just, I mean, moments like that is important in marriage or without marriage. Because without our son, I love my son to death. But before we had him, it was like, all right, let's go do this. Let's go do that. All right, we're here. We're there.
Yep.
And now we have to find time to do that. But without having that babysitter, that affected our marriage for, a couple years, actually. And now it's to the point where he's about to be out of daycare. Potentially we're looking to move next year, and having family around that he can go to, cousins he can hang out with, is going to bring almost like a rejuvenated spark to the marriage. So, we had a good time. Her birthday, we went to New Orleans a couple weeks ago in February. Man, she said that was the best birthday she ever had. That made me feel good.
When y'all went to New Orleans?
We went to New Orleans. We was in D.C. the weekend before, flew out to New Orleans, kicked in New Orleans for a
Y'all
whole
left
week.
Braxton in D.C., right?
Braxton was with Grandma, yep. Because
Yep.
he went down with us, but she took him back to Ohio.
Right.
And we was in D.C. that following weekend, and I threw her a surprise party. Man, we just had just a great time, just kicking it. She was with old friends that she's been trying to connect with. That brings a different vibe to a person when you can go back, be around friends, have an outlet. Here, if all she's doing is work, home, and no friends, no outlet, everybody going to get burnt out. You know what I mean? So,
You don't really have a sore taste in your mouth about where you live if that's all you do
yeah.
is work.
So yeah,
it
imagine
gets real
being
weak.
yeah. My wife is from Maryland, so after a while, that conversation started having is I'm not really happy in this area. I'm not happy here. And this, you got to make a decision. Can you man up and say, "You listen, happy wife, happy life"? I'm going to do what I can to make sure she's happy, or you just going to say, well, we here. Ain't no turning back. We might as well we already bought a house. Why we going to sell it?
Right.
But, yeah, man, you just think about that. Intimacy, time together, even if you do have the kid. Put them to bed and do something on Friday night. Let's do a wine tasting in the house.
My best times.
You right.
9 o'clock when the kids go to bed.
Yeah. You have to. It's very important. I'm telling people, you have to find time, and you have to make time for you and your wife, or you and your husband, whatever the case may be. You got to make time when you need it. So, do something in the house, cook in the house, wine tasting, sipping paint, whatever you got to do. Do something in the house if you can't get out.
You know what I dread? I hate the summers. The kids be looking for. I'm telling you, the kids be looking for it. The summer, we get to stay up, no school.
Right, they
and I look at my
all
wife
day,
and be
every
like,
day.
oh my goodness, because I'm telling you, during the school year, you know that they're going to be out of the house 8 o'clock, and then when they get home, they got to go to bed 9, 8:50. You know what I mean? We saying prayers, go to sleep, good night. And so it's like those moments I appreciate. Yeah. But in the summer, anything goes. My son be up 3 a.m. talking about, Dad, you sleep? What?
Yeah, fool.
And then I wake up in the morning, and it's like, all right, I'm going to work. He's still walking around the house like, man, get out of it, go somewhere. And they kind of cramp my style.
Yeah.
Because like you said, DJ Daryl, me and my wife, that's all we used to do was date.
Yep.
Soon as I get off work, soon as she get off work, what you want to do? I don't know. Let's go downtown. Let's go hit High Street. We over here. Yep. We'd have been to every restaurant in Columbus. You know what I mean? We exhibitionists when it come to restaurants, boy. We get down.
Right.
And now that we got kids, it's like,
you got to pay for 4 meals instead of just 2.
Yeah, where you want to go? I don't know. Old Charlie's, Kids Eat Free.
Right.
It's like, man, we can't go nowhere.
Free fries.
Right.
Yeah.
Bar Louie on Tuesday, $1 burger.
Max
You got to be cheap.
Tuesday and Thursdays.
Yeah, you got to be cheap now. It sucks.
And so, just being healthy and dating and keeping that intimacy alive. Intimacy is the word for the day. After job, it's intimacy. You know what I mean?
It's going to be dating.
Date.
You got to date, man. You have to date.
And you brought up something that we actually did recently. So, like, Valentine's Day was in the middle of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't really get
Tuesday.
no babysitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, parents don't live here, so I'm like, what we gonna do? Because you can't skip it.
Nah.
It don't matter what.
Nah.
You can't just say Ava home like duh.
Right.
You had time to get it together.
Right.
So like what we did, I went to like Joann's or someplace like that, and we did an in-house paint and sip.
There you go.
I remember we talked about that.
And we actually did that. I got Ava a little one, you know what I'm saying, a little paint one. But mommy and daddy had our own big one, and I damn. All right, so Jay got a phone.
They got a new phone, so the ringer on.
All right, so
And,
like I was saying, go ahead. So like we had our paint and sip. I picked out the pictures where you could get your inspiration from, and I picked out like 6 different colors for us to put into the little. And like, even though it wasn't what we usually would do for Valentine's Day, we had fun. I never painted before. I never did paint and sip. She never did one before, so that was our thing. And now we can. If we ever go to one, we're gonna be like, you remember what we did one for Valentine's Day?
At the house.
Ava had that, and I put the paintings up on Ava's wall because I picked colors that matched her like Doc McStuffins and stuff, so that whatever we painted, it would match.
I love Doc McStuffins, man.
Hey,
Doc McStuffins, the truth.
I'm not gonna sing the song, but I hear it every day, and I think that. Off topic, I think it's a dope thing for my daughter to see a black doctor, and knowing how to care and diagnose stuff. But anyways, so I made sure I got the colors of what matched Ava's room so that she can see her work and mommy and daddy's work.
That's pretty cool.
And when people come in, she's like, mommy, daddy painted that. And now she likes to paint because we had our quality time. And then
now she's enjoying it.
She enjoyed that. And it was still something fun. And I thought it out. And which brings... It shows that I have like it was. I think acts of kindness is her biggest one. I think she has 2 big ones, but the acts of kindness is something that I gotta pay attention to.
Yeah, man. And knowing the love language is very important
Yes.
too. You can't love people the way that you want to be loved or the way you receive love. Yeah. You got to love people the way they receive love.
How long did it take for you to figure that out?
It wasn't until we took the
Last
love.
week?
No, it wasn't until we took the
I
love.
just heard it.
language.
Rewind. Say that again.
What you tell me? Yeah, it wasn't until we took the love language test like a couple years ago, and that's when I knew. I didn't know before. Because my number one is physical touch. It's like high on the chart. Hers is like low.
I wish y'all could see Norm's hands. They's high on the chart.
But hers is low. Hers is low. So I couldn't love her the way she want to be loved. I had to love her the way that she does. So.
Because that makes sense once you're told it.
Yeah.
Because you treat everybody how you expect them to treat you.
Yeah.
And then like, damn, you don't want this quality time? Like,
Right.
You
don't want to chill?
You don't want this physical touch?
Right. Dang.
Like,
Hey,
I
5
can't grope
love
you?
language. Right. You tell me I can't rub your booty at all? At all?
Like,
Damn.
Yeah, you had because you didn't spend no quality time with her
Right,
all day.
right, that's what
now
it
you
is.
on her ass.
Right.
What type of shit is that?
Exactly. People, get the 5
piece
love
of meat?
language. Right. Now you want to be all over me, huh? I was trying to.
Quality time with you. Your ass ain't getting that.
Hey, y'all, 5 love languages. Please get that. Read it together.
Norm stood on the table. This is high on my list.
Hey, man.
But that's real though.
That's
like,
real. That's
super
real.
real.
It's like duh. It's almost like a duh moment. Like, of course, like, don't touch me.
Of course she ain't
you
gonna
know what I'm
want you.
saying? You ain't spent no quality time when you ain't said nothing nice. You ain't did nothing
You ain't did
kind
nothing
to me.
kind, yeah.
You ain't
Like-
gave me no words of affirmation.
Like, you didn't tell me I look good. You don't love my dreams, but you want to touch my ass.
Right.
Like, damn.
Yeah, man. It's real.
I don't care. You can touch me.
Right, yeah. I mean,
I like it. You ain't gotta say
it's real, man. It is real. Those love languages is real, man. It's real.
That's real talk.
Real
But
Very
it's
real.
like you really have to understand that, especially when you're with a spouse or you have to know those things. You have to at least be aware of it.
Right.
And then once you're aware of it, it's really your choice if you want it to work.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't want it to work, you ain't gonna do it. And then it's gonna leave a gaping hole in your relationship
Yep.
that can't be filled by nothing else other than
Nope.
that.
It's all gonna be separation, man. That's why, like you said, just communicating it as well is something that you got to do. But if you're not doing anything to make your spouse, I don't want to say make them happy, because you have to. Happiness comes from yourself too. Definitely make sure you make yourself happy. But if you ain't listening and going through this difficult time and this hard work, marriage is hard work. That's what people don't realize, man.
Every day.
Marriage is literally the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with.
Niggas think that marriage is a solution.
No, it's
Like
not.
it's the beginning.
Yeah, of everything.
I don't want to say a
different.
beginning of a problem, but
No.
it's the beginning of like resolution building. Like you got to still.
That's what
resolve.
marriage really is.
Yeah.
Well
It's
said.
resolution building. It's teaching you how to live and to learn and to love with a whole nother person through different situations.
Yes.
Like
and it's a trip because it's also personal.
yeah,
Like marriage is when you learn about self. When you
It's a-
sharing with somebody else,
it
you
is
learn
a mirror.
exactly.
Yep.
You learn about you.
One thing I've had to say, not just to my wife, but to myself, when there's conflict, it's like, do you want to be right, or do you want to hear me?
right.
Like,
Ooh.
do I
like
want to
that.
be right, or do I want to hear what you're actually saying?
Reese always say something in here, and this is a solid gold quotable for my man Reese. Shout out to Reese. He say, "Is it better to understand or to be understood?" And most people answer that quick. "Psh, be understood." You know what I mean? That way, if she know what I'm saying, we ain't got no problems.
Then that means
But a
you
lot of
wanna be
times
right.
you missing
be right.
it. You missing it.
That's
And
really
so
the
when-
same
the
thing.
more
Yep.
the more that he asks that question, I always think, and if you understand, that's setting the table for you to be understood.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
now, once I know your love language, now that I know it's words of affirmation, then when I come in and give you those kind words, now I can put my arm around you
Yep.
and we can, do physical touch or
Right.
whatever the
If
case
you gave
is.
me what I wanted.
But if you just come in and physical touch and try to get yours, that's conflict.
Yeah.
Think about if you was approaching the dog. You would be careful because you don't know what the dog is capable of.
Build a relationship with the dog to make sure
Literally.
you can touch.
Exactly.
Right.
Now,
Not
okay.
comparing your wife to.
yeah,
but
they
you
ain't
know what I'm
saying that.
saying.
Yeah. Don't nobody
Clarity.
get that twisted.
Clarity.
Yeah,
I'm
clarity.
just saying, you come up on the dog, you don't know if you're going to get bit. You don't know if
Exactly.
the dog is going to like you. You don't know
Right.
anything. So you calm the dog first. You let the dog know, I'm not a threat. I want to touch you. Hey, how you do? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You speak kindly to it, then you touch it, then quality time and all of that happens.
Right.
But you don't just run up to a dog and do what you want to do with it, pick him up. That'll get you bit.
Right.
Indeed. That's a good way you put that. Like that makes a lot of sense for anybody who didn't get it before we got to this point.
For those that ain't married, you know what I mean?
Right. It's just totally different.
Yo.
I found an article that speaks on 5 reasons you should have mommy or daddy time.
Word.
And I'll just briefly say what the reasons are. I ain't going to go into explanations, but even we can explain from what they're saying. It says, number 1, it's essential to find time to recharge.
Quality time to recharge. That's real.
You have to recharge. Like, even taking time from work, you feel recharged about either what your goals are or being better in your job. It's the same thing. Like, sometimes you just need a step away to find that motivation to get better within your relationship.
Right.
Or to just decompress and get all of that mess off your mind from the day.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Second one, it says it strengthens your kids' relationships with others, because when you have time away from them, they have time to build relationships with their grandparents, with their cousins, or with whoever else, and you want them to have those relationships, because what if their love language is quality time? They need quality time with the people that that want to love them. My daughter, if she don't be around you, she ain't really messing with you. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's how
like,
Braxton is.
just because you my cousin don't mean that we cool.
Braxton the same way. He look at his grandfather like,
Hey, I see
right.
Braxton every other week. He look at me like I'm a stranger every time.
look, imagine how his grandfather feel who don't see him. His grandfather saw him and said, "Hey man, what's going on? You know who I am?" He was like,
Yeah.
"No," and walked away.
Braxton cold with it, boy.
Hey,
He'll look you
cold.
up and down.
Cold blooded too.
So that makes sense.
Cold-blooded.
The third one says it makes your kids self-reliant. So they have to rely on themselves, or not just rely on us when they are away from us. They have to learn how to handle a situation without saying, "Mommy, Daddy," because we know our kids act differently around us than they are in the world.
Yeah.
We know that they may act a little bit more soft, or they may try to
A little bit more defiant a little bit.
exactly. And this allows them to be self-reliant. Time away, having mommy and daddy time, allows you to nurture your relationships.
Yes.
It allows you to
Fact.
nurture your relationship, rather it's daddy time with his fellas who will end up being your kids' uncle or whatever. That nurtures that time too. Like our time with each other
I need
nurtures
more
our
of that.
relationships, which will. It's just our time away from our kids. We need to have this is our daddy time.
I need more of that, man. I need more male time with the homies, man.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
Because you learn, your kids going to be all right. You going back home, they're going to be straight.
Right.
I'm saying, and your wife needs time to be with peers.
Girls, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoever, yeah.
So, and we know how, when we see them having a good time without us, how we like to see that.
Yeah.
And we know how beneficial it is to them to either be around their family, wherever they get their energy from. That is necessary. When sometimes we got to have daddy child time so mommy can have mommy time.
Exactly. Yep.
Because
That's
we know
important.
that will make mommy daddy time better. And it's necessary because you gotta nurture it. You gotta nurture it all.
Fellas, send your lady out, get her nails done, her hair done.
Let her go to the
Let her
B2K
go-
concert.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, let her go to the Millennium Tour. That's what she want to do. She want to have fun. Let
Why
her do
not?
that.
Scream tour. Ah!
Exactly. Let
Hey,
her relive.
my
her
wife brought it
16,
up too.
17.
Like, I mean, they come to Cincinnati, but I ain't trying to go by myself.
My
I
wife's
was like,
there. My wife.
She going by herself?
No, she has
Oh.
4 of her female
Okay.
friends about to have their mommy time in Cincinnati, and they about to kick it. I'm like,
I might
have
be
fun.
there. I might just because she ain't got nobody to go with. So I'm gonna go with
Bring
her.
a story back. But like, let them have their fun. Let them nurture their relationships, and they will be happy to allow you to nurture yourself. I get this time with y'all and with my friends because I let her have the time that she needs, because it not only helps our relationship, it helps her relationship with her daughter too. Sometimes you gotta miss her.
Yeah.
Sometimes she do get on your nerves.
Right.
She a toddler. She on my nerves. If your kid don't get on your nerves, you don't be around them enough.
Exactly.
So we be around our kids enough, and they get on our nerves. The fifth one is it sets a good example for your kids. It sets a good example when they see you love each other. Then when they see how it is to love, they will be able to be loved correctly. They'll know what love looks like when they see mommy and daddy laughing and joking. they'll want to look for that in a spouse and friendships, all that stuff. And that's the little things that we may overlook. But the way you interact with your wife, or the way you interact with your son, your daughter's going to pay attention to how that male to male reaction is, or how a male acts, and then she'll always keep that with her, and she'll see a lame and be like, my dad I ain't never seen. It's just like, for example, I've never saw my parents cuss. I never had my parents cuss in front of me, none of that stuff. And when a girl tried to cuss me out, I'm like, psh, get out of here. Like, I ain't never seen nobody, I ain't never let nobody cuss
Man,
me.
my mama ain't talking to me like that.
Mama ain't talking to my daddy like that.
Yeah, like my mama never cussed at me, Stu. You ain't never about to cuss at me. Like, those type of examples are ingrained in us because of the quality time that we do get to spend with them without our kids.
Word.
Y'all thoughts?
Hey, know your spouse or your significant other's love language. Number 1. Number 2.
We're not closing. I'm just.
Oh.
I was just
saying. Yeah, still date.
Intimacy.
Take that free test. Like, get on the internet. Know yourself. Know what yours is, and then send the email to whoever you like. If you're not married with somebody right now, if you're listening and you're single, just send it to a couple people. Like, what's your love language? How do you know how to love yourself? How do you know you should be loved before you try to love me? Because if I would have known that stuff before, I probably would have loved a lot of my family, my parents, a lot different.
Yeah.
Because I expected them to know what to do.
That's a lot of the struggles in our community anyways. We don't have the right resources to utilize to get to that point. You know what I mean? Now we do. Nowadays you can find stuff. You have different outlets, different people you can talk to. But man, back in the day, I don't know how they did it.
So you spoke a little bit about how you want to have more like guy time, fella time. What do you like? What are you looking for when it comes to that? What would you want to have in that?
Man, honestly, it could be playing basketball at the rec on Saturdays. It could be, maybe hitting the bar for a couple hours just to get out and just decompress and just shoot some pool or something. Like, I haven't shot pool and I don't know how long. I like shooting pool, man, but I would love to go out here and shoot some pool. Something chill, nothing crazy.
Right.
Like, that's why I don't hang around certain people, is because I don't want to put myself in a position where it's like, all right, let's go to the club and kick it. Like, I don't need that. I just need some time with the homies. Listen to some music, watch some basketball, some football, something like that. Get some food, chill,
Right.
and just go home. Go home to the family, be happy. Just glad you had some time. You know what I mean? So you need that. Everybody needs some time apart.
Jay, what do you feel the importance of having the guy time? Even if you don't get guy time other than this, or you get to hang out with the barbers. Like, why do you?
I was gonna say,
like,
I don't want guy. God, my job is nothing but guy time. I want to be around, and that's kind of the imbalance in my relationship. Mm-hmm. When I get home, it's like, all right, put the kids in the bed. I just need to be with you,
right?
And I'll smother my wife. I come home and it's like, what we doing next? Then what? And then what we gonna do tomorrow? And I'm all over because I'll be up here with guys all day. And don't let us go and hang out. Because I was on the pool league, so it's like I would go straight from work and then go do the pool league and get home at like 9 o'clock at night. Shit, I'm ready to physical touch and love language. You know what I mean? I'm ready to get right to action.
She like, nigga, I ain't seen you all day.
You ain't seen me all day. I need to catch up. The kids is doing this. I don't want to hear nothing about no kids, man. I want to get right to being intimate.
Right.
And quality time is my thing. So it's difficult for me to go through a whole day at the job and then not crave quality time from my wife. It's hard for me to go all day here and then get home and then let her go out with her girls. It's like I don't get to see my woman.
Right.
I don't get to run and hug up on nobody else.
I get it.
So the only woman that I got is my wife. So for me, it's kind of the opposite. I really do not want, after this job, I don't want to be with no other. I don't want to see no. I better not see a mustache, a beard trim, or none of that. All I want to see is my woman.
That makes sense. So that shows a different side that maybe a woman who could be listening could see. Like, we do want that time with our women.
I desire.
We wouldn't get married if we didn't want that time with our women, you know what I'm saying? Unless you just did it just to do it. But like, we do desire that time because it's just a different energy. Like,
female logic, things that women say. Like I get men jokes.
Yeah.
I get men jokes here. I didn't want to say what I wanted to say.
Right.
Fuck it. We on air. I get dick jokes in the barbershop. That's all we do. Pause. There. Ooh, you said.
I'm so tired of that, man. Like, niggas, we ain't grown as hell. Y'all still talking some pause.
It's like
I can't
pause.
even say nothing.
I got pause in one ear. I got ESPN in another ear. It's like I don't want anything to do with no dudes when I leave. I want to go straight home and just lay up and smell lavender and lilac.
See, that's what I feel. You,
Some
man.
softness.
Right,
Soft.
yeah.
Soft
Yeah.
legs, like
Yep.
shave, all that. Like,
I mean,
Right.
take a bath.
All that.
right. That's dope. I mean, that's another perspective because really, you don't hear us talk like that.
Mm-mm.
Like, I don't think I understand it because I've lived it.
Right.
I don't think I've ever heard nobody else say something like that where it's like, I don't even want to be around my niggas. Like,
around them niggas,
I'm around
yeah.
these niggas all the
I told
time.
y'all at the
Yo,
question
why,
of the
man?
day, I don't even go to rap shows. I be at the poetry set.
Yeah.
I like being where the girls is
It's-
at. You
it's
go
a
to the rap
different
show, it's a
feeling.
bunch of dudes, everybody mad, niggas drunk, mean mug.
Right.
You go to the poetry set, it's pretty ladies sitting around. It smell like shea butter in the air.
Right, little, what's the name? In the air, incense and
Yeah,
everything.
little oils.
Yeah,
I'm
little
into
oils.
that now, man. You know what I mean? All that hard leg nigga shit, I just can't. I don't want to do that no more. I do enough in the barbershop, man.
And that's what I noticed too. A lot of too many men or too many dudes in general. Just it's all about bros. Hey man, bros, man. It's about the bros for hoes. It's
childish.
like niggas.
Whatever.
Yeah, man. We gonna get that together all the way through. Nah, man. I need a lady, man.
Yeah.
I need one by my
Soft.
side.
We need that mommy daddy time.
Quality.
And that's where, even if you gotta schedule it, even if you gotta like miss an appointment for something else or take an off day with your wife.
I'll do that. I'll take an off day.
Yeah,
Speaking of fellas, it's Tuesday. I'm about to get up out now.
exactly. Like we
Yeah.
about to end this real quick so we can have some time with our wives because it's necessary.
Yeah.
You got to take a Friday so you can have a whole 3-day weekend and just you got to go on vacation and drop the kids off
Yep.
and have a time just with your wife just so you can have fun and laugh. Like even if it's not like sex 100% of the time, just to have my friend back.
Right.
Like how we used to kick it felt good. Like
Man.
we was in Houston exploring how we used to explore Columbus. Like we was at food trucks, we was getting drinks, we was finding edibles, we was finding like every
time.
single thing. Like we was doing adult stuff and didn't have to worry about a bedtime. We didn't have to worry about waking up at a certain time.
That sounds like a good time
That
right
sound
there.
like-
dude.
yeah.
That's
A couple weeks
honeymoon.
ago.
Like exactly, like that's just it's necessary because just for you.
Yeah, man.
I'll get tired. I get tired of my
Hey,
wife.
you got me ready to quit my job, bro.
My bad.
Quit my job, sell all my possessions, baby. Let's go. Let's
I
hit the
can't
road.
do that. I can't
It's just
quit mine.
it's just
Not
sometimes
yet.
we get so much into the everyday life.
Mhm.
We got to take some time to separate from it all
Amen.
and have mommy daddy time. And that's
That's
where
a
we're going to end
word.
it. I think that's the thing. Just want it to be a thought where you do make time for yourself and you're not selfish for that. You're not being selfish because you want to spend time with the person that you married.
Right.
You're not selfish because you want your kid to be babysat for a weekend.
Most people don't realize marriage.
a whole week.
Yeah, right.
For a week.
In marriage, it's really mommy and daddy first. Most people try to go mommy, daddy, or I'm sorry, mommy and kid first. Yeah, it's about the kids. Like, no, it's about your spouse first and then the kids after. That's what people
They
don't
gonna fall
realize
in
about
line.
marriage.
And the thing I heard about that, just to, real quick, the thing I heard about that, like your kids might not even like you when you grow up. Like you don't put all this time into them, and you
Miss all this love.
push your spouse to the side, and then try to put them first. Your kids grow up and don't even like you.
Can't stand my dad.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Listening
like,
to some damn new birth.
at least your spouse chose you. You know, your kids ain't had no choice to have you. Once they find out who you really are, they might not even like your
Man,
ass.
got me listening to 2 Chains.
What the hell's a knife one?
What the hell's a knife one?
The hell
A
is
Solange.
It's a long day.
That's where we at, man. Make some time for yourself. Make some time for your peoples, and get your kids to a babysitter just at least for a couple of days.
Even if you got to pay for one,
Right.
that's what we on.
I know some people who do mobile daycare. So if y'all need somebody
Yes,
to
yes.
Word?
yes, I
Yes.
do. I reached out to a contact because for those dinner things I was doing over the winter time,
Yeah.
I had somebody on deck for a mobile daycare for whenever. Then
they'll come to you.
They'll come to you, or you can take them to their spot. Yes.
Will Craig say on Friday? Yes.
Yes. Okay, we up out of here, y'all. We gotta get to our families, but
Definitely.
Thank you once again for listening to us. Make sure you share this with your friends and holler at us whenever y'all see us. All right.
Peace.